Hello and welcome to another fanfiction review. It is I, Dark Symphony 777. As always, I'll have a link to the story in the description. Please like, subscribe, and remember to comment your own opinion on the story into the comment section. Remember that this is my own opinion. So the story I'm going to be reviewing is called Roger the Dark Knight by Galaxy 1001 D. It's another big old story because I gotta finish those. They're really the only stories left I have to review, and I figured I continue from yesterday. I mean, last time I made a video. Sorry, something I don't want to talk about it, but something happened that kind of got me off topic. That got me off track, and I just don't want to talk about it. So this is kind of one of those stories that has a good idea, but could have been done better with the execution. Now, last story that I did, which was actually the story before this, talked about something called the Repository of Lost Memories. Now I'm going to be explaining what they are at the beginning of the plot. So let's get into it with the plot and an explanation of what this is. The Repository of Lost Memories is in the story sort of a location that was created by Gordon Rosewater in the show Big O as the creation of what happened 40 years ago. In the anime, there is something that happened 40 years ago that caused everyone's memories to disappear. Gone. Finito. They're gone. Everyone has amnesia. Hence why Paradigm City is called the City of Amnesia. It's now being run by Angel and and about a couple other androids. All we know is two names, but that's it. Now, in terms of what happens 40 years ago, in the anime, all we got is basically vague notions from the character Schwarzwald. Schwarzwald is the pilot of Big Duo. It's this gigantic big biplane Megadeus, and he's named after the mystical forest in Germany. As for if he found what happened 40 years ago, we don't know. This is an anime that answered more questions. That gave us more questions than answered them, because anything to do with what happened is we just basically got vague notions everywhere we went. So we don't really know what happened. She'll never bother to go out of its way to tell what happened. But at the beginning of the story, we have Jason Beckgold somehow managing to get into the repository, knocking out Angel, and finding out what happened 40 years ago. So now it becomes kind of a tale of two stories. We have Angel's side of the story, which marks of what happened 40 years ago as some huge tragic event that caused everyone to lose their memories, because from how the repository is worded in the story, as well as last story, it seems like that it wasn't some natural event that caused everyone's memories to be erased. Someone consciously made something inside the repository to erase everyone's memories. So we have Angels, which was this big disaster that scarred everyone to the point where everyone's memories had to be erased to kind of keep everyone from going insane. Or Jason Beck's idea, which was based on what he said and how the chapter was worded. And this is literally the first chapter. It was very, very something very petty. I don't know what it is. The story is more than likely dead, so we're probably not gonna find out anyway. But I don't know. It could go either way. It could have went either way. I gotta start speaking in past tense since we're near the end. So we don't know. All we know is that Jason Beck somehow got the memories of what happened 40 years ago, and now he's using them to his advantage to manipulate everyone from the crime bosses to the Paradigm Corporation to Roger Smith and Angel themselves to manipulate everything to do one gigantic takeover of the city. And I have to admit, that's actually pretty good, because we never really got someone who actually found out what happened 40 years ago. I mean, yeah, we had Schwarzwald, but they never explain if he actually found the answers in the anime. We just know he went insane looking for them. That's the closest we got. Whether he found them or not, they never mention it. They never explain it. All we got is, oh, he went insane looking for them. That could have gone either way. Okay, that's fine. As for character development, I like what they did with Jason Beck. He was such a natural antithesis to Roger Smith. Roger Smith was antisocial to everyone but the ladies, while Roger Smith fancies himself a criminal of the people who actually cares about his men and wants to help them out. Roger Smith is very antisocial. Jason Beck is incredibly social. Roger Smith only dresses in black to embody the whole dark is not evil trope, while Jason Beck dresses in gold to epitomize the whole light is not good trope. So there's a lot, and there's more to it than that, but I don't want to drag this on, which is a point counterpoint sort of argument. But that's all you should know, that they're kind of the opposites of each other. But Jason Beck got his own episode, and he kind of got a bit of decay. I think the episode was called "The World's Greatest Thief," or "World's Greatest Villain." I can't remember which one. And it basically just amounted to Jason trying to get Big O to fall into water, and Big O kind of trolling him at the end. It was like, "Stick his foot out." It's like, why is it not falling in the water? It said, "You didn't think I would fall for this." And it was kind of a ridiculous stuff. So I felt that with this episode, we kind of got Jason Beck from the very beginning of Big O, with the whole creepiness, with the whole dark and sniveling, conniving douchebag who does genuinely care about his men, but is willing to go to hell or high water to make sure he gets his money, he gets his plans to succeed, which is why I don't particularly like Angel's character, because Angel's character does not fit. In the anime, I didn't really like Angel that much because she's the character that kind of knew too much for his little kid, and I could get that. I could get the whole, because it's like there has to be someone who knows more than they should, and Torchwald is like cuckoo. But Angel's direction in this character is some sniveling, shrieking violet who is like who became even more cryptic in these stories. Other than the anime, she was cryptic in the anime, but she was more vague and but had a calm, cool disposition to the whole. Oh, I'm willing to help you. It's like, but don't ask any questions how I got this. Don't ask me. And she played it off as everything is falling to her plan. Ever since Nine Muses of Death, all the way back then, she's just been like completely falling apart. I did not like her direction. Any story she's been in, and it's not getting any better. And if anything, it looks like she's being set up as the final villain. It looks like Roger Smith is going to go to Hell or High Water to figure out what happened, and Angel's probably going to break out Big Venus from like the anime series finale to fight Big O. And maybe Danny Kirk will pull a big damn heroes moment if the story ever gets completed. Danny Kirk! Who? I love Danny Kirk. Go read that story. Oh, that story's so good. But yeah, I like Jason Beck's character. I like Roger Smith's character. Dorothy was there. She wasn't really a factor in the story, so I can't really say anything about her enough. I can't really say anything. And Angel, I just didn't like because it's painted. She's obviously being painted as a character completely different from how she was portrayed in the anime, even toward the end, with her kind of breaking down in tears. Grammar errors. There's of course the grammar errors. There's a couple grammar errors where I don't know and I don't care. If you want to point them out, please do so in the comments. Because I'm not a grammar Nazi, but if I don't say anything about the grammar errors, and a grammar Nazi somewhat Chelsea said, "You didn't mention this error." I didn't think it was, "You mentioned this error." Okay? Okay? Sorry, I get bored sometimes when I do some kind of crazy stuff to relieve boredom. So anyway, now you're wondering why at the beginning with all these good parts, why was I saying it was a good idea but poor execution? It's this part. It's the imagery and pacing moment. When I think of imagery and pacing, I also think of the exposition, the prose, the wordplay, and everything, and how the overall wording is structured. I just say pacing, wording as a way to kind of generalize it, because it's like what would be the easiest ways to interpret people who don't really know that much about the art of literature and the terms and the art and literature as an art form in and of itself to generalize it. So I just use pacing and imagery because it's probably the two most simplest words I could think of that still technically would epitomize the whole thing. If anyone could think of a different word, I'm okay with that. And that is this boy. This story has a crap ton of references. Oh god, it's okay. I get it. Big O, especially specifically Roger Smith, is like Bruce Wayne. I get it. There's gonna be, and the author stories had at least one reference to Batman. At least they were subtle. No, these ones is like, okay, let's take picture of a little marble statue, like from the one from SpongeBob SquarePants, as us, the fan base. You have a chisel, Batman references. The hammer, the Arthur references. That's what happened. We hit onto them with a chisel. Okay, if it's catchy, would play like at the first story where he's like, and like T-Bone is like, don't make me hit you with this bat, man. It's wordplay, but it's subtle enough that you're probably not gonna catch it the first time around, unless you're like know about the fact that Roger Smith is kind of like an anime Batman. And there's lots of, and no, not this one. No, there doesn't go a chapter by since the beginning that a Batman reference is done. And no, these are not subtle Batman references. No, these are Dark Knight just copy and pasting certain scenes from Dark Knight into the story just for no reason. And I do not like that. I do not like the shadows. If they were more cleverly hidden, I could deal with that, especially if there was like only one or two references. No, there's about, if I had to count, there's about 9 or 10 references, and about 8 of them were actually direct copies of scenes from Dark Knight, with Jason Beck being the Joker, despite the fact Jason Beck's far is more. If I had to pick him as a character based on his personality, more more Riddler Penguin combo, or if you pick something else, maybe Black Mask. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But he doesn't act like the Joker. Far and away, doesn't. There's even a scene when they go to a costume store. Oh, I wonder what costume Roger Smith. Oh, he's gonna wear Batman costume. And Dorothy Wainwright is just gonna wear a Robin Hood costume with like a little R pinned on her shoulders. Like, I don't matter that much. I don't matter. I'm a robot. Punch! Where'd the punch come from? I don't know. Maybe I was channeling my inner Captain Falcon. Someday I will Falcon punch the earth. Someday. I don't know if anything I'm going to be remembered. It's going to be my completely quirky non sequiturs. Man. But there is just so many references that I just do not. Not to mention at the end, there's literally just a random reference to Terminator there with Dorothy telling Angel, "Come with me if you want to live." It's like, I would have been okay with just that reference. One reference to Terminator, one reference to Batman. No, not all these references put together. And not make them so blatantly obvious. Yes, this is Yes, Roger Smith is like Batman. You don't need to keep reminding us. And I did not like that. So, and finally, emotional investment. I been thinking, I guess after I do the Big O, I'm gonna switch up. I'm gonna get rid of the emotional investment and change it with something. And I already pretty much decided what I'm gonna change it to. But I'm gonna, just for the Big O stories, I'm at least gonna keep them just for these ones. So just so I can at least finish the Big O ones. After all, I just need to figure out how I'm gonna work into the story, or more specifically into the review. And that's it. In terms of emotional investment slash readability, would you come back to the story? No, sorry, not readability. readability is recommending. Do I get emotional investment? Sorry about that, folks. Do I get emotional investment? It's kind of that sequel hook. I have to admit, it's kind of. I would only watch it for that sequel hook, and only if the second story is really worth it. Although it does kind of feel like it might be worth it. Who knows? But I would it. You can get invested simply for just for if you're a big fan of the show and you want Jason Beck to see what's going on with him. Fine. So, favorite part and what I recommend. I don't really have a favorite part, mainly because there's so many references bogging down the story that it's hard to find even something remotely enjoyable. And again, I would be okay with the references if they were more witty and not completely out there. Plus, no insult to Dark Knight fans. I prefer Nicholson over Ledger. Just saying. Come at me, bro. But there's so many references that it's just bogged down the story to make me want me to ask the author, can I go change this like everything in the story? I can't? No, I can't. No, dang it. Alright. That'd be it. But what I recommend, I would actually recommend it because if you actually kind of follow the story and actually am a fan of the show, as in the anime itself, then I can easily recommend the story, not wholeheartedly, but just enough due to the sequel hook, the character direction of Jason Beck, the anticipation factors of what the hell's going on, and that's pretty much it. So, final thoughts. Basically, would I change anything? Honestly, keep everything the same except I would just get rid of the references. Or at least get rid of most of the references. Keep the whole if I had to pick a reference, just keep him wearing the Batman outfit. I don't it's just I don't know what to honestly think of the story because it's like there's good because I can see where the author was going in, but it's just it needed all those references gone. There's too many. If it was a longer story, I could tolerate it, but no. It's like a how long is the story? It's a 37,000 word story. If it was twice the length, I would have tolerated the references more. But I don't. I have nothing else to say about the story. Except to tune in next time when I review the second part of the story. So, this has been Dark Symphony 777. I hope you'll